Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sammy Ketchum, and welcome back to Sammy Ketchum TCG. Tonight, I am going to be going over my Pittsburgh Regionals experience that just happened this past weekend. Also, I'll be going over the deck choice I made, and I'll be doing a little mini deck profile on Miraidon. All right, this was my choice for the event, and it was a very, very, very good choice. But we're gonna go over that, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna start out by talking about a little bit about my experience. So Friday, I'm gonna call this phase 0. That's what they want to use. They want to go and they want to do it in phases now. They want to say phase 1, phase 2, you know, instead of day 1, day 2, all that. So this is their words, not mine. So phase 0 Friday. I'm flying in. I get into Pittsburgh at like 9:40, 9:50 something. All right. I take a Uber to my hotel and drop off one of my bags because I don't want to be walking around the venue with like all of my luggage. You know, especially knowing that on Friday when you first walk in, like 11:30, 12 o'clock, that line to get into the venue is going to be long, and you don't want to be standing there with all of your luggage trying to get in the venue, trying to get your swag, trying to buy stuff from vendors, etc., whatever. So you don't want to be carrying around all your luggage. So I headed to the hotel first, dropped that off, and then I Ubered back up to the convention center. And like I predicted, that line was long. It was about like 11:45, almost 12 o'clock, and nobody had their wristbands, you know, at all. Everybody was still standing in line. It was like 2-3 lines deep, and the line wasn't going anywhere. I don't even think Gaming Gen was there yet. But once 12 o'clock hit, you know, things started to move. People started getting their wristbands, started to go into the venue. You know, I finally got through the line and got into the venue. And first thing you see to the left is their new Gaming Gen's new line of regional merch that we're gonna have for the foreseeable future. This is the new line of regional merch that you can get for Pokemon, for the Pokemon regionals. So now we've got regional merch, which I think is so cool. I think is amazing. I absolutely love this jersey. This is the Landorus jersey. It's got Play Pokemon on this side. It's got the regionals logo on this side. And I've got the Pika hat. I think they got like the logo right here on this side. I don't know if you can see it or not. But, you know, the merch, they had like sleeves, deck boxes, mats. There's like a little shoulder bag. There's a Pikachu shirt that's only in youth sizes, which is a bummer. They had a Gardevoir shirt and an Incineroar shirt. So they also had this amazing leather jacket that was priced to high heaven. But it's a good leather jacket. It's a good quality leather jacket, and I think it's worth the price. But that price was pretty hefty, and there was no way I was getting a leather jacket right now. But that was the merch line. That wasn't the swag line. To get your swag. After you get your little wristband, after you get your wristband, you walk to the venue. Everybody basically wants to go get their swag, but that's not the swag. So people were confused walking into the merch line when they wanted to go first to get their swag. So I was confused. I was halfway through the merch line before I actually realized, that this is the swag line. I even asked the people up there, I was like, is this where you get your swag? They're like, no, this is our new merch line. I'm like, then why are people, you had people giving out false information, and you've got confused people who just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't even on the map. Because, you got the map of where everything is, online if you're looking. But the swag line was all the way over on the other side. On the other side to the right. And I'm like, I gotta walk all the way over here for the swag. I was kind of a little hot. So that was that. I finally got my swag, and then I was like, okay, let me go look at the prize wall to see if there's anything on the prize wall worth playing in side events for. Because I do like the side events. You know what I'm saying? And I like to play for cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just to note, the socks that I wore all weekend, my little Pikachu and Charmander ankle socks that I wore all weekend, I literally picked them up off the prize wall, as prizes for playing in side events earlier on, maybe like a year or two ago. So I actually use some of the side event products and stuff that I get from events. Yeah, I was wearing them all weekend. So, I was looking on the side event wall to see if there was anything worth it, like to play for. And let me tell you, like, there was absolutely nothing that like really, really like interested me or just like lit a fire in me to want to play in side events. So then, now the thing that really, really turned me away from side events for the whole entire weekend probably, was that I went and asked the judge, one of the, I guess he was doing maybe like the side events judge or whatever. He was over there by that area, so I asked the judge, I was like, are they doing the Mega Evolution pre-release, as a side event? Because, I mean, that would basically really gain interest for a lot of people. This is pre-release weekend still, but the judge was like, oh no, we're not doing Mega Evolution side events this weekend. And I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding? I was like, are you sure? Are you kidding me? I was like, this is the first time that I have ever seen a regional during pre-release weekend not offer or do the pre-release with doing the pre-release with the set that's coming out a week later. I've never seen that. every single regional that I went to during a pre-release weekend had pre-release events at the regional. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I say that's like not a good, I mean, that's a bad thing is because like, that's not, having the pre-releases at the regional isn't bad. It's good. We want that. But like, and the reason why is because us as competitors or spectators, sometimes we don't have the chance to go to pre-releases back home because we're preparing for the event. We're preparing for the regionals. Also, it really would have been good to have the pre-release there because pre-releases now tend to sell out like that because people just want to get their hands on the Mega Evolution product. You know what I'm saying? And so every single pre-release has, by the stores, have been, how do you say it? Have been like, you would have to pre-register for the pre-releases. You know what I'm saying? Or you would have to write your name down or whatever. Or let's just say pre-register. Everybody would have to pre-register weeks in advance for just a pre-release. Just to come play in a freaking pre-release. That's nuts. That is nuts. That's how crazy Pokemon is. You can't even just walk into a pre-release weekend, stand in line, get a kit, and play and open and build a deck. You gotta pre-register, or you're not getting a kit. If they don't have enough, if they only have spots for 24 or 50 or whatever, they get to that limit and they're like, okay, we can't do anymore. There are no walk-ins anymore. So whenever they're out, they're out. And if you just miss it, you just miss it. I just think that's, I think that's ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. And then when they didn't have one, it's just like, oh, now I really have barely a chance or a shot at getting any Mega Evolution product. I was done. I was done. I was like, yeah, I'm not playing in any side event this weekend at all. I mean, that changes later. But right now, I wasn't playing in any side event. So I was like, okay, so what do I do while I'm around here? I already got my swag, so, I went and grabbed something to eat at the concession stand. Don't get me wrong, it was pretty high priced, but I'm gonna tell you the one reasonable thing on the concession stand, at the concession stand, was the barbecue pork sandwich, fully loaded. Let me tell you, that barbecue pork sandwich, it was so good. It was so good. I can almost justify the price of it. It was like $11.50 for one freaking sandwich. But that sandwich was loaded up with like all the fixings, pickles, slaw, tons of freaking barbecue pork, sauced up. It was good. It was good. It was damn good. But, concession stand food was pretty high, so I got that. Was that Friday I did that? I think it was Friday. It was Friday. Okay. I did that, got something to eat. I also met I met some friends from Twitter. Um, what was it? Yeah, Aaron and what was it? Pretty Sandwich or whatever. I think those are Twitter names or whatever. But I met them. They were very nice. They gave me their their card, their designed card that they have. Actually, let me get it real quick. Just show you guys. Yeah. That's Aaron's. And this is Pretty Sandwiches. Yep. I met them. They gave me their card. They were really nice and sweet. So I met them, which was really, really cool. I really like meeting people from the community and just, talking to them and just, talk about Pokemon, learn about things like just like, I mean, we all love the same hobby. We're all playing at the event. We're all, we literally are interested in all of the same things. So I absolutely love it. So I love meeting them. I love talking to people. I love, just doing all of that, just seeing, the people in our community, so that was good. And then I was really waiting at the venue for some of my friends that were driving up because we were going to play test later. An hour went by, 2 hours went by, and then I helped this one guy test his rogue spicy deck for tomorrow. He was playing a Terra Charizard deck. A Terra Charizard deck with Dusknoir and Water Pond. I'm telling you, it was spicy. But the way that he played it and the way that he did things, it was good. It was really good. But just to hear him talk about, his strategy, what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it, I just thought that was great. So I helped him play test that while I was waiting for my friends. And then, 6 o'clock rolls around and I messaged them and I'm like, where you guys at? Are you guys here yet? Whatever. They're still on the road. They're still, driving or whatever. It's like, we haven't gotten there yet. We're going to stop at our hotel and then decide what we're going to do or whatnot. And I was like, they were not going to make it to the venue to get their swag or whatever and meet up. So I was like, you know what? I'm going back to my hotel. I'm going to get something to eat and I'm going to go back to my hotel. Because I'm, well, you guys decide on what y'all want to do or whatever, I'm going to chill. Because I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, flying all the way here, to this point. I'm tired. So I did that. And I went to eat at this pizza place. I think it was like Pizzeria Parma or something like that. But it was a really good pizza place. They had pizza, some Italian subs, wraps, things like that. It's a really good pizza spot. And I went and ate there and got 2 slices. It was really good. It's like a little bit like down the street from the convention center to the right. But yeah, they had really good pizza. Went, ate there, then, you know, Ubered back to the to my hotel. You know, got to my hotel, crashed out, rested, you know, woke back up, ate something, play tested a little bit, and then I submitted my list. I was all ready to go. All right. You know, but Saturday I played. I'm gonna make this really quick on Saturday. You know, get to the venue, start to play. I went 4-3-1. All right. I was one game off of going into game 2, going into phase 2. That's what I was saying. I won the first 2 games. All right. I was hot. Won the first 2 games, and I beat 2 Dragapult Dusknoir decks, probably Tord's version. Then my third match came. Oh man. This is where things started going down. I played against a Terrabox deck, you know, and, you know, first game they open up Fez, and I didn't know what they're playing because all they had on the field was a Fez. So, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, let's power up Miraidon, you know, to take out the Fez, since the only thing they have is a Fez, and I don't know what else they have. So I did that, and then next thing you know, they go Nest Ball, Miraidon, get out Little Joltik, Pikachu, whatever, and then Nest Ball, Latias, retreat, whatever, bring up Joltik, Jolting Charge, and I'm like, you mean to tell me I could have been powering up Iron Hands this whole time? You know, because I had 3 energies on Miraidon. You know, and I could have easily powered up Iron Hands and had Iron Hands going, and Iron Hands could smack the Joltik on my next turn. And but we just don't know. This is just game knowledge. We just do not know. In game 1. In game 1, you flip over the cards, and if they only have out 1 Pokemon, and if that Pokemon is like universal in every single freaking deck, there's just no way of knowing what your opponent is playing and what they're trying to set up. So I literally lost the game from that point, because at that point, since I had the energies on the wrong Pokemon, I literally got steamrolled, you know, trying to recover from that, you know, and trying to get the right energies on the right Pokemon. And that first game was just a mess. The second game, both my Miraidons were prized. You know, I had a lot of bad things prized. Plus my hand was just legit, just boo-boo. My hands were just legit boo-boo. Like, I could not even play the game. I was like, how am I losing to this? And I mean, this is a matchup where I know that I could do well. I know that I could win. But it was just clearly completely out of my hands. Next game, I played against a Charizard deck. Charizard deck, the person, brand new player, first regionals, and for some reason my deck just decided it didn't want to work. Oh, just didn't want to work, you know. No good hands both games. I don't know how I was losing to this, because I had, you know, the winning strategies, the winning plays, the win. I just couldn't. You know, once he got up Charizard and Pidgeot, Pidgeot was going to find him every single thing that he wanted. And I was just like, I checked out, my deck checked out, and that was it. Then I went back to the other side. Because like, the way the Masters are set up is that on this side, they had most of the Masters tables, you know, I would say maybe like, what was it, 5 through 1,000. And on this side, they had tables, 1 through 400 and something. So I went to the other side because I just lost 2 games, you know, and then I hit a Guardy. I smashed the Guardy. I beat the Guardy, and I was just like, let's go. Good matchup. All right. So beat the Guardy. After I beat the Guardy, I came back to this side. And then I lost to a Godiego Joltik box deck. You know, I lost to that, you know, because they opened weird too. You know, so I lost that. Then I went back to this side. Oh man, where I played against I think was it a Dragapult? Godiego? No, was it Dragapult? I think it was a pole. No, I think it was 2 Godiegos. Let's see. I think it was 2 Godiegos. I know I played 2 Godiegos. Yeah. 2 Godiegos. Oh, I'm about to find out right. Yeah, it was 2 Godiegos. Yeah. Yeah, 1 against Guardy. Lost against Joltik Godiego. And then I tied against a Dango. And then I won against a Dango. Yeah, so but yeah. Saturday was fun. I kept going back and forth between the sides. But in the middle was the Masters hive. Or was the hive for the TCG. So in the middle was the hive. This side was the winning brackets. This side was the losing brackets. So, but it was fun. So did that. I did my 8 rounds. Whoever made day 2 played their first round on Saturday. You know, and then on Sunday they played 5 more rounds in the Masters. They played 5 more rounds, you know, on phase 2 the next day. But I was just like, I'm at 8 rounds. I'm done. I'm going to go back to my hotel. One thing that I should have talked about before I talked about Saturday is that at my hotel in the morning I met up with someone. I met up with a friend, someone who at the hotel he was also going to the venue. And I was like, hey, you going to the regionals? He was like, yeah. And I was like, I was like, are you Ubering there? He was like, yeah. He was like, you want to get a ride with me? And I was like, yes. Yes, let's split an Uber. Let's get a ride together. His Twitter handle is the Evil Layer, and he's a really cool guy. And I talked to him, you know, on the ride up to the venue in the Uber. Really cool guy, really chill guy. He played Polt to the event, which, I mean, a lot of people did. I mean, Polt is a really good deck, you know, but he was kind of like on the fence about things and things like that. So, but yeah, I met him at my hotel, and we took an Uber up, and I also took the Uber. Well, did I take the Uber back with him? I think I did. Yeah, I took the Uber back with him Saturday night. I think so. But yeah, really cool guy, really chill guy, and that was just a great deal to basically, you know, because like the Uber was expensive going from the airport area all the way into downtown. So but you know, I just wanted to talk about that after we've already got through Saturday. But yeah, Saturday was fun. Now going into Sunday, I wanted to go back to the venue because I was just like, you know what? I'm not in day 2, but I still want to do something. You know, I just don't want to like sit in my room and do nothing. You know what I mean? Because nothing was down here. The hotel that I was staying in was literally in a cul-de-sac, and it literally looked like it was behind the Batcave. Like the way that you got, the way the entrance into the hotel was down this freaking wavy, curvy street that you had to curve through, and on the way to it, you saw like all these woods and wilderness and stuff like this and stuff like that, and it was literally in the back of a cul-de-sac, you know. But if you go through there at nighttime, when you're going through those twists and turns, it looks like you're going to the entrance to the Batcave. I kid you not. Even my Uber drivers didn't even know that this hotel was back there. That's how bad this was. Oh man. Oh, but anyway. So I didn't want to sit in my room, you know, on Sunday. I wanted to actually go do something. So I did. I left there, got to the venue. I got there super early. It was like, what, 7, 8 o'clock? Around 7, 8 o'clock. I got there. So I got there, and no, it was about like 8 o'clock. Cause before I left my hotel, I had to register for the TCG Standard Tournament that RK9 was hosting at the venue. So I had to register for that at 7:30. So I did that before I left the hotel. So I had to register for that, got to the venue, and now I'm at the venue, and I'm like, okay, what now? All right. So I had some extra mats to sell, so I went to go sell them. One of the vendors that I literally went to just about for everything was Kayfabe Kayfabe cards. Or is it Kayfable? I don't know. Well, Kayfabe cards. Kayfabecards.com or whatever. I went to their shop, and I mean, I was selling my mats to them. I sold most of my cards out of my binder to them. We were doing trades. We were doing deals all weekend. That vendor was at, those guys at Kayfabe Cards were absolutely amazing. Quick note, they are also partnered with the Shuffle Squad, which I am great friends of mostly all of the Shuffle Squad members, you know. So I'm cool with the Shuffle Squad. You know, I'm even now cooler with Kayfabe Cards. I mean, they literally saw me every single day of the event. I went to them for stuff. I kid you not, man. Their prices on the prices on cards, on packs, on selling stuff to them was just great. So I can't say enough about them because they were really, really fantastic. So I went to sell them some mats, and you know, and did that. I think I watched some of the stream a little bit or whatever, got something to eat. Oh, actually, I did enter an 8-man pod. I did cave and enter an 8-man pod and got like, how many points did I get? I got like 40 points because I won the first game and then I lost the second game. You know, one kid beside me was lucky because he played his first game and he was supposed to play his second game, but the guy he was supposed to play, I guess he like had to go do something, and he dropped and gave him the win. So he literally just got booted to the finals and didn't even have to play a second match. I was just like, bruh. So I did enter one 8-man pod side event and got 40 points. You know, got something to eat after that. Went and watched the stream a little bit. Was it Top Cut then? I think it was round 13. Round 13. And then after that, it was time for the TCG standard. So I went and played in that. 1:30, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Well, 1:30, I left my seat and I went to go basically prepare my deck so that I could, you know, play in the event at 2 o'clock. And I went over to the area where they were going to hold the event, like the side event tables, or where they were going to hold the tournament. And they already had the paper pairings up on the board. And I was like, wait, these are our pairings. I was just like, they already have them up. And I'm like, and so I asked the judge, I was like, are we sitting here? Is this where we're sitting at? And he was like, yeah, we're sitting over here. I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm already here. You know, I'm already here, and they haven't even announced it yet. I'm like, you know, we're getting ready for the event. I think it was like 1:30, 1:40-ish. And so I sat down, started, you know, organizing my deck, power shuffling my deck, getting it ready to play in the event. And so lo and behold, it was time for the event. 2 o'clock comes, and I already knew where I was sitting at because I looked at the paper pairings already. And I was literally sitting right at the front. So I didn't even have to move. I barely had to move. And so You know, I had my deck prepared, had everything ready. And, you know, I played my 3 games. Won the first game, won the second game, won the third game with your boy, my boy. And I literally stayed around that area all 3 games. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, these are the top tables. I never moved. I never moved from that table. Oh man. Like I played against a Polt, a Blissey Monkey Dory deck, and what else did I play against? Polt, Blissey Monkey Dory, and it was something else I played against. Gosh, I forgot what it was. Let's see. Hold up. I wrote that down too. Yeah, Blissey Monkey Dory, a Grimmsnarl deck. Now, this Grimmsnarl deck was interesting because it was more of like the starter deck Grimmsnarl. Okay? It had Grimmsnarl and it had the Morpeko in it. Now, the Morpeko is actually pretty decent. You know, but you know, they use most of the starter deck stuff with the Grimmsnarl, which is actually good in itself. But, I mean, you know, they still have, you know, the rare candies and stuff and things like that. But I just kind of, I knew what I was doing against Grimmsnarl and everything. So I was just like, pack it up. Pack it up. But yeah, I won all 3 games, and then, you know, went to go get our tickets. I got 150 tickets for winning, for playing all 3 games and winning. And then I had my 40 tickets from the 8-man pod. So I had 190 tickets. Now, I took 100 of the tickets and I got my boy Laxus. I was like, you know what? I think I will get something off the prize wall. I'll get this, you know, I'll get this Jolteon plushie. His name is Laxus. Say hi, Laxus. Row, row. Jump, jump, jump. And then I also got 9 packs of Destined Rivals. Now, I already know what I was going to do with the packs once I got them. I was going to take them to a vendor and I was going to sell them. Guess where I took them? Yep, I took them right over to Kayfabe Cards. And, you know, and I sold the packs to them. And I asked them, I was like, how much are these packs going for? And he was like, and he told me, they were $7 a pack. $7 a pack. So I was like, wait. I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah. He was like, so you'll give me $7 for a pack. I was like, that's busted. That is busted. Like, but that got me thinking, how much are the packs worth now? If you're giving me $7 for them, how much are you going to sell them for now? What, like 10, 11, 12 bucks? Like, that's insane. That I'm getting so much for a pack. I was like, and that got me thinking, maybe I should have gotten more packs. Because I could have made out like a bandit. I got like 60, 70 bucks back, man. Just for 9 packs. It was busted. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, because I remember the last regional I went to, and I sold packs to a shop. They were only giving me $2 a pack. So from, was it Atlanta or was it NAIC? It was Atlanta. In Atlanta, they were giving me $2 a pack for the packs that I had. And I had an entire box full of packs. An entire box. And they were going to give me $2 a pack. Just imagine if I had an entire box that I won off side events and I got $7 a pack. Normally, MSRP on a pack is like $4 or $5. And you're giving me $7 more than MSRP on a pack. So how much market price are you selling these packs for? It was insane. Oh man, I was just like, man, I was like, I felt good after that. I felt good after that. I was like, hey, this is lunch money right here. This is lunch money right here. Lunch money right here. Oh man. And then I went and I finally caved in and bought this shirt and this hat from the merch line. From the merch line on the side where we first walk in, where I got confused at on Friday. But I wanted one of the other shirts, but they didn't have my sides in the other shirts. And actually, some of the stuff was actually sold out. All of the Gardevoir shirts were sold out, and they didn't have my size in the other shirts. So this was the only thing that had the 2XL in. But, you know, I was like, you know what? I'll get the jersey. And after I got it, I was just like, it felt so good to wear Sunday. It felt so good. Like wearing this is like, it's like amazing. This thing feels so good. Such great quality, man. It's like, I absolutely love it. And this hat is like fire. It's like fire. Oh, man. I absolutely love it. So, I went and got that. No, wait a minute. No. I got that Saturday. I got this Saturday. Never mind. I'm mixing things up. I got this at the end of the day Saturday. And I wore it Sunday. So I was feeling good Sunday. But yeah, I had an amazing time. And after that, I went and ate at Jimmy John's. And I got some stuff to take home. But yeah, I really, really had an amazing time. All of my opponents were nice. All my opponents were great. Met some really, really wonderful people. Met some people from Twitter. Also, shout out to Zach Lesage. And Zach Lesage, Rahul Reddy, and LDF. Those guys are always cool to talk to, cool to meet, cool to talk to. Love those guys. But I should get into this deck profile. This is really long. All right. 2 copies of Miraidon EX. 2 copies of Iron Hands. 1 copy of your boy, the man in the hour, Zekrom. Copy of Zero Aura, the fast sniper. Just a little bit more info on him. He's not just a fast sniper. He can snipe things like Latias EX, Mew EX, Squawkabilly EX. Any EX Pokemon you can basically do 210 damage to with this Thunder Raid attack. Except Terra Pokemon. So you can't hit any of the Terra Ogerpon Pokemon or Terrapagos. Or any Terra Pokemon for that matter. That's an EX. You can hit things like Clefairy on the bench. You can hit things like Pecharunt EX on the bench. Any normal EX Pokemon you can hit for 210. Which is like, oh man. Like this was so good. This was so good. I was sniping fezzes and stuff all day, Saturday and Sunday. This card was so good. A 2/2 line of Magneton. Magneton was so good and so crucial into getting energies onto my Pokemon when I needed them. Sometimes I would have to do it in the early game to power up Iron Hands. You know, and then other times I didn't need to because I hit generators. And if I hit generators early game, that means I could save my Magneton for later when I'm powering up Zekrom or Zeraora. So, you know, and if I got to save them, that means I could use them for later, which really, really works out very, very well. One copy of Blood Moon. One copy of Squawk. One copy of Mew. Copy of Fez. Copy of Latias. Three copies of Carmine. Alright. You can use this card if you go first. And this deck wants to go first now. You don't want to go second. You're not going to get that miracle second turn pop off where you get all your energies, all three or all four energies on like Iron Hands or whatever, and start smacking on turn 2. Nah, you go first with this deck, and you have these in the deck so that you could turbo out your first turn. You want to turbo out your first turn. You want to get your energies and have your attacker ready to go, ready to smack them in the face on your next turn. Three copies of Who's a What's It? Iono! 3 copies of Iono. Alright. Normally, normal Miraidon decks don't play Iono. But I do. So, Iono for this deck is very good because in the beginning of the game, most of the time, Miraidon decks will draw a hand of like 4 or 5 energies with maybe 2 other cards. So their whole hand will be energies. So you don't want to play Professor's Research and discard all these energies into your discard pile. You want them back into the deck. In the beginning of the game, you can use an Iono to shuffle these energies back into the deck. Then you can use like a search card or use Miraidon's ability or like a nest ball or something to mix up the deck to put the energies back into the mix of the deck. Then you could play like something like Generator, where now you've got all these energies back into the deck. You've got like 10, 11, 12, whatever energies in the deck. Most of your energies are in the deck. So now that when you go to play Generator, you're pretty much guaranteed to hit 1, hit 2 off your generators. You're giving yourself a better chance of hitting generators by using Iono and putting those energies back into the deck. That's just the beginning of the game. Mid to late game, when your opponent is sitting there and they have game in hand, you don't really want to be playing a research. You want to be playing an Iono to shuffle their cards back into their deck and make them draw a lesser hand. So take the game out of their hands. And yeah, I mean, you'll probably go to a low hand size too because you've been taking prizes too. But it's more beneficial for you because now your opponent doesn't have game in hand. And that's big. That is very big. Instead of this being a research, you just discarding your whole hand away, and then your opponent having game in hand next turn. So if you don't get it, you're fucked. Excuse my language, but that's what you are. You're fucked. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm going to shuffle your hand back into your deck so that you won't have game in hand on me next turn. And after every single game that I've played Iono like this, I've had opponents tell me I literally had game in hand. I had everything in hand set up to beat you on my turn, but you shuffled them to the bottom of my deck. And every single time I hear that, I am happy, I am proud to be having Ionos in my deck. And this will never, 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 never change. Three copies of Arven. We've got items we want to hit. We got items and tools we want to hit for our Pokemon. And Arven can basically get us what we really need when we need it. Nest Ball, generators especially, and our tools. So it is just a very, very good card to have in this deck. And for certain Miraidon decks that don't play Arven, I clearly don't understand. It's like, oh, I'll discard and draw 7. I'm drawing 7 cards. I should see what I want. No, play Arven and go get exactly what you want. Just go get what you want. Instead of drawing a random 7 cards and you may only get one piece or even no pieces of the puzzles or the cards that you need. Where you could just go search out a nest ball, search out your specific tool that you need. And then your nest ball could get you something like Fez, could get you something like Mew. Nest ball could get you something like Latias or Blood Moon. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, just go get what you need with Arven. Three bosses orders. Copies of Electric Generator. Yeah, baby. Love them generators. Gotta hit that gotta hit the Jennies. Gotta hit the Jesse Parker. Three copies of Nest Ball. Like we were talking about. Arven gets these. Arven can get these easily. For Ultra Ball, Arven can also get these. 2 copies of Switch. Arven can also get these. I actually took out something and added the second Switch card. Since I'm not playing Prime Catcher in this deck, you know, I wanted a second way to switch out my active so I wouldn't be trapped by things like Maractus, you know, and the Water Ogerpon. So I have 2 switches in here. So I can switch out my active Pokemon and I don't get trapped by Maractus or something of that nature. You know, I'm definitely ready for the water pond sobs and things like that I could get out of. Copy of Super Rod. Super Rod is very, very integral to this deck's core and design. Super Rod, shuffle back in energies so that you could hit your generators. Same idea, same principle as the Iono, putting the energies back into the deck so you can hit generators. Same purpose of the Super Rod. I mean, also, of course, you could put your Pokemon, maybe like a Pokemon or 2 back into your deck if you actually need it. So it's universal in that way. But mostly it's here to put the energies back so you can hit with the generators. Everything in this deck is to make it more consistent to hit the generators or to get your energies onto your Pokemon. One copy of Maximum Belt. This is the way that we are going to take out Gardevoir, Dragapult, Grimmsnarl, all of them. This is how we're going to do it. And I'm about to show you. Zekrom EX and Maximum Belt. Zekrom EX is like a little Charizard. His Voltage Burst attack does 130 base and 50 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. Now, when your opponent has taken 2 prizes, this card can only do 230 damage. Alright, now if you still have your Magnemite or Magneton on the field, what you could do is you could pop the Magneton, you pop this, give your opponent a prize, and you put 3 energies on the Zekrom. Now he's doing 280 because your opponent has taken another prize. So now he's up to 280. So things like, things or whatever that's like 280, Zorg GX will go down. Godingo EX will go down to this with them taking 3 prizes. But you're forcing a 3rd prize. So you're forcing a 3rd prize and making this hit Godingo, making this hit Raging Bolt, making this hit Zorg GX, things like that, just by himself. But if you add the Maximum Belt, that 280 jumps to 330. You're now taking out Charizard, Gardevoir, Grimmsnarl, Dragapult, all of the major Stage 2 Pokemon that are in the game right now. You could take them out with Zekrom with just them having only 3 prizes left. In the mid-game, when they bring those Pokemon out, and they're like, oh, I'm bringing out my Dragapult, I'm bringing out my Gardevoir, you have nothing that you on your board that could hit this. I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to kind of like stabilize. They're going to try to stabilize with that Pokemon by having that Pokemon in the active, hitting me, taking another 2 prizes or whatever, or taking their first 2 prizes. And they're saying, this Pokemon is out here. It's going to stall you out because you've got nothing to beat me, and I'm going to set up the rest of my board. But this with this says no. Oh, I'm going to take your Pokemon out right now, and you're not going to have that time to set up the rest of your board like you want to. I'm going on the aggressive, and I'm taking you out right now. That's what this is saying. Mid to late game, this is putting in work. 330 damage very fast. And this is one of the whole entire reasons why I love this deck. With the combination of Magneton pulling it off, it's so good. It's so good. One copy of Bravery Charm. You need Bravery Charm in this deck. It's good to kind of stave off Dragapult a little bit. You put it on your Mew EX. You can even attach it to your little Magnemite to save your Magnemite from dying because of the 60 snipe from the Dragapult. If you want to keep your Magnemite alive, or put it on the Mew. Dragapult really likes to go after the Mew EX and go Phantom Dive 200 and then knock out something else, or damage something else on the bench. So protect your Mew with this in a Dragapult matchup. In the Guardy matchup, you put this on your Iron Hands. That way they can't go Monkey Dory, Gardevoir, whatever attack is, Miracle Force, knock out your Iron Hands. So they can't even Monkey Dory twice to try to knock out the Iron Hands. So you want this on your Iron Hands in the Gardevoir matchup, so they can't do things like that. But in other matches it has other uses as well. So, but this is the tool, or these are the tools that I opted for. And this deck plays stadiums. No other Miraidon deck plays stadiums. But I play the Academy Ignite. The Academy Ignite is the perfect stadium for Miraidon decks, because it says you literally put a card on top of your deck. That's it. Each and every turn, you can put a card on top of your deck. What card do you think I'm going to put on top of my deck? I'm going to put an energy on the top of my deck so that I can at least guarantee an energy with Electric Generator. Yes, this is helping me to hit my generators. And if I do the math right, if I know how many energies are in my deck and know the ratio of, how many I'll hit off generator. Like if I have 10 energies or more in my deck, I have a 90 to 100% chance of hitting one energy off generator. If it's over 10, like 12, it's like 50%. If it's over 12, it's like 70 to 90% that I'll hit 2. But if I'm forcing an energy with the stadium, that means I'm 100% hitting 1 because of the stadium. And then the other percent is making me hit the second one. So that this is just broken. Also, another reason why I'm playing this stadium is to basically take out the opponent's stadium, like jamming tower. Take out their jamming towers, take out your opponent's artisans, which they're basically like freely using every turn. Artisan, go get Monkey Dory. Artisan, go get Monkey Dory. Artisan, go get this. Artisan, go get that. I'm like, nah, I'm not giving you Artisan. Also, this card can also save you from Ionos. So at the end of your turn, if you haven't used it, at all during the turn, haven't used it for generators or whatever, you can put a card on top of your deck to save it from Ionos. Like, oh, I know they're gonna Iono me next turn. Let me put this card on top of my deck so that I can have it, so it won't go to the bottom of the deck. And then when they Iono me, it's the first card I see. this can help you do that. So it has very good uses. I found room in here for them, and I don't regret it one bit. And 16 lightning energies. Even with the stadium in here, you still want 16 lightning energies. You want the thunder, baby. You want all of the power. And that is the deck. It's been a very, very long video, but I'm going to end it on that. All right, guys. Shout out to Zach Lesage. Shout out to Kayfabe Cards. Shout out to Rahul, Reddy, LDF. All the people I met at Pittsburgh this weekend. Shout out to the Evil Lair. But yeah. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.